What is up, W Sports Podcast listeners? Jimothy and Tubby, we are back at it again with an exciting December episode because we have our giveaway hints given today. So, Tubby, we're going to start with that here in a second, but it's a great week for fantasy football unless you have week 14 buys. I don't know what the NFL is thinking. No buys in Thanksgiving, which I get. Only to have 6 teams on bye this week is absolutely insane the week before so many playoffs. So we're going to go over some sleeper picks, things. Hey, maybe you got to go start that guy because you picked up someone and they're already hurt. Lots of fantasy football news today. Followed at the end of the episode, we're going to have some news and notes in the college football world, and of course, some more baseball because we know we missed it. And believe it or not, winter meetings have been happening just a little bit. So, Tubby, welcome back to the show.
What is up? Yeah, NFL, it's criminal that you're putting bye games right. Either some people are in the playoffs now or a week before the playoffs. Absolutely ridiculous. Come on now. Do better.
Yeah, we got to be better. But we're going to start with maybe some desperate picks here because maybe, again, injuries have been piling up, of course. But let's start with a QB who's in the top 12. And I can't believe I'm asking this. Who would you not start because there's so many teams that are not playing, but in the top 12?
Man, if I had to pick, I'm going to go with Brock Purdy.
Okay.
Playing against the Bears, a tough pass defense. Now you're without CMC and Jordan Mason. I don't know. This team just seems off.
Yeah, I would say Patrick Mahomes only because he's playing the Chargers. This is going to be a big ball control game, and the Chiefs have already talked about how they want to run the ball more, not only with Pacheco as he gets back up to speed, but still with Kareem Hunt. I just think this has a recipe, again, to be a low-scoring game, which means touchdowns are going to be at a premium, and I think he gets one, maybe two, but I don't see this being a 250-yard game, and I don't know that he's rushing the ball because Jim Harbaugh schemes so well. So I think the Chiefs win the game. You can go back to yesterday's episode and verify that, but I do think this is not a Patrick Mahomes fantasy football, number one, week. So
yeah, Patrick Mahomes is going to be my other pick, but I had a feeling that you were going to pick him.
Of course, yeah, that makes sense. All right, well, let's see. We might both be picking the same person here. Who are you starting though instead of these guys?
Cooper Rush.
Okay, so that was going to be mine too. Also,
yeah,
why, Tubby?
Maybe because you're playing the worst pass defense in the NFL.
100%. Yeah. So
there's only one answer there.
yeah. I do have one other one though, just in case. I'm going to go ahead and throw out Kirk Cousins, revenge narrative, playing at Minnesota, coming off a horrendous game we talked about, 4 interceptions and cost his team the game. I think this is one of those that he probably gets 3 touchdowns. I think he's going to go for 300 yards. I think he's going to give everything he can to beat this team. I don't know if they win, but I think that he's going to try and have that revenge game. And then he'll walk out saying, "You like
that?" That would be awesome.
It would be. It's the only thing he can do. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to some running backs. Guys in the top 24 that you're considering not starting this week. Again, I know there's lots of guys out, so this could be a crazy thing to say, but who is it that you're not starting?
I'm going to go with Aaron Jones. He's kind of had an up and down season. Last week he had a good game. Other than that, a couple weeks before that, it was like 9, 12, 12, 11, 12. Nothing super consistent, just kind of mediocre. Playing against the Falcons defense that is good against the run, not so great against the pass, but you're good against the run, and I think that they're going to slow him down.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Nick Chubb. He's right there around that 12 to 15 range, depending on where you're at. He's a guy that just has, he's good in the carries, the touches, anywhere from 10 to 20. 15 to 20 is typically his range, but he's not getting good yardage. And he's found the end zone 3 times, but 2 of those came in one game. I don't think he was rushed back. I do think he's a physical freak. He's insane to be able to already be back anyway. But I think the Browns team just is not that explosive to give him that extra space.
Yeah, and I just don't think he's in game shape either. Coming back from your second, terrible knee injury, it's always going to be even tougher.
Yeah. So give me a running back that you are starting.
Well, I'm not starting the quarterback, but I'm starting Isaac Guerrero.
Okay. All right. I like that. Yes.
CMC and Jordan Mason out. Jordan Mason out. Why not? They're going to run the football. Debo may take some of those. I don't know. I think Guerrero seems like the more explosive guy. And so I think that he's a much better pass catcher than Patrick Taylor is also. And that's something in the 49ers offense that they really, look for.
Yeah. I am I'm going to go ahead and go with. I feel weird saying this because we just talked about the other one. Um, Ke- no, Kenneth Walker's Jonathan Brooks is who jumps off the page. He's just on the outside, and I know he's come back from the injury, but he's
Hmm.
playing Philadelphia, so I don't necessarily think that he's going to get a lot of carries. But I think if you play your cards right, you should have him maybe have a couple catches, and maybe he finds the end zone for that first touchdown. I don't think he scored a touchdown yet.
Not that
He
I've
has
seen.
not. But he got 3 targets in last week's game. So compared to 0 the week before that, we only had 2 touches. So he already had almost 10 touches his second game. So I think this is a game he gets closer to 15. I think
Hmm.
maybe he finds the end zone.
Yeah, yeah, definitely could.
So Amir Abdullah was my backup, but that's where we're at.
Yeah,
And that's assuming that he plays.
yeah.
Or not he plays. What's it? Madison doesn't play.
Madison doesn't
Excuse me.
play. Yeah,
Yeah. All right, let's move on to wide receivers. Give me a wide receiver you are not starting.
coming off a massive game against his former team, I'm not starting Jerry Judy this week against Pittsburgh. Last time he played, yeah, he had 14 points. No, didn't get in the end zone. I think Pittsburgh, it's in Pittsburgh. I think that they lock him down, and he kind of comes off the high of last week.
Yeah, give me Lad McConkey. He's been going off the charts with targets, catches. He's looking like a mini Cooper Cup. Um, but I think the Chiefs' weakness is not typically the receivers; it is usually the tight ends. And I don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Will
who,
Disley.
yeah. So not an electric athlete like Brock
No,
Bowers is, but
no.
that's who I think was going to have a little bit more of the inflated numbers this week. It was just because he's playing the Chiefs. They don't game plan to stop tight ends. They game plan to stop everybody else. So
Yeah,
I know he's been on fire, but that's just who I'm pulling away from.
yeah. I mean, Trent McDuffie more than likely going to be covering in the slot.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. So who you got starting instead?
I'm going to go with Jordan Addison. He's
Okay.
kind of had a up and down season, kind of like Aaron Jones, but
Hmm.
I'm going to say that he kind of it's like every other game. Well, this is the every other game. So I'm going to go. He has a big game against the Falcons and goes 8 catches and massive yards and a touchdown. I mean, we seen it a couple weeks ago where he did the same thing.
Hmm.
We'll see it again, I think, this week.
Yeah, I'm disappointed that Nick Westbrook-Akeen is in the top 36 because he was an easy pick for me this week going into it, and then he has snuck up to 33 after he gets so many touchdowns. I think he has 20 catches for 8 touchdowns. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go actually with Brandon Cooks again. He's playing Cincinnati. I think he has one of those games where he just sneaks in there. And with a week with so many buys, I think he's one
yeah,
of those guys that you at the end of the week are like, oh, that was pretty good. That was a nice week. Maybe not
yeah,
top 20, but 24, 29, somewhere in there. That's still technically what we're looking for.
yep. That's still wide receiver too.
Yeah, we'll take that. So, all right. Well, that is your fantasy football advice. We hope that it helps. We hope that as you make the playoffs, you can say, hey, thank you to the W podcast. Or if you didn't listen to us and you did incredible, hey, hats off to you. Maybe we'll have you on the podcast sometime.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to take advice, I made playoffs in all 3 of my leagues.
Yeah.
Number one in one, third in the other one, and last one I got in the last spot. But there's only 4 teams, so
There you go. Only 4 teams that you
in the
own, not
playoffs.
14. Oh, only 4 in the playoffs. Okay, that's a small
Yeah,
playoff. I like it when there's
yeah,
6. Yeah.
yeah. So it's 2 weeks each round.
Yeah. I'm number 1 and 2 in my 2 main leagues. And then the league that I'm the commish, my team is 5-8, and I'm just trying to play spoiler. There's a guy who lost last week by a tenth of a point, and if he beats
Oh.
me this week, he's in the playoffs. But if he loses and this other team wins, he's out. So my whole goal is to make it so he doesn't win. Yeah. So and then I was commissioned. I'm like, why did I put 8 teams make the playoff? Then I could have made it.
then it would have been in.
Yeah, I will say it is a much bigger team playoff. So.
Yeah.
Um, can we pause real quick? Sorry, I think I just missed
Yeah.
a phone call. Okay, hold on
Yeah.
just a second. All right, we're back. So anyway, as we were talking about football, we're going to continue on this conversation with some college football coaching news. This isn't new news. Mac Brown is out. 73-year-old coach, had a great long career, not only with Texas but also North Carolina. But it's time for him to move on. And the word on the street is that there is this young up and coming coach that is ready to jump in with North Carolina. Is very interested. It's the one
Yeah.
and only Bill Belichick.
Yeah, a name y'all need to look out for coming up through the coaching ranks. Massive splash if this is where he ends up.
Yeah, my question is, how good of a recruiter do you think Belichick is?
I would say not. I mean, the thing is, people may go, "Hey, I'll go there and play for a Hall of Fame coach, one of the greatest coaches ever in NFL history." But man, that brash,
I'm
old
not sure
style
what. Yeah,
coaching, I don't know if that's going to fly with these young kids.
yeah. It doesn't. I mean, I just don't know if it's a fit. I want to see him coach again and just see if he can do it. But is
Yeah,
it going to be like Nick Saban going to Miami? You're like, "Ooh, it's just, ooh."
yeah,
So
feels
we'll
wrong.
see. But coach has got to coach, and that's clearly what he's good at, what he loves to do. I say he's young because he's a year younger than Mac Brown at 72, but it's like, man, just keep doing what you're doing. I just don't think I don't think he likes what he's doing at this point in comparison.
No,
So, uh, the Eric Bieniemy, 0 for 2. Poor guy. I don't know where he ends up next, but does not stick at UCLA long. OC now gone. And then the Sooners did hire a new offensive coordinator, Ben Arbuckle,
yeah,
29 years old. Brent Venables says, "Come on, man, go big or go home." And so he's hoping not to go home.
yeah. He put all his cards on 29-year-old offense coordinator that has called plays for 3 years.
Yeah.
But I like the hire. I watched a lot of film, a lot of their games, a lot of the play calling. I like what he brings. He's not your typical air raid type of offense. He's someone that he's like, I've taken stuff from everyone that I've coached with, and I've made my own style of offense. And on top of that, he ran the ball 55 times this year, 55% of the time this year.
Hmm.
So he's not your typical air raid, but he can have that style when he needs it.
Yeah. I here's what I would say, and don't think NFL. Just think, where are they in college? Because this is a
Mm-hmm.
college coordinator. The quarterbacks that he has coached.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the room with Billy Zappi. He wasn't the play caller at the time, but then
Yeah.
obviously Cam Ward. Um, what's this guy's name in Wisconsin?
Uh, oh,
I almost said Vincent, but that's Mateer.
Mateer.
Yeah,
And
him.
then
He's had a great year.
Austin Reed.
Yeah, Austin
His
is the next one.
Yeah. I
Uh,
mean,
all of them have had really good. Now, sometimes you can question the talent level, what they're playing,
yeah.
but that's the big jump that we're seeing now is what will he
Hmm.
do? And I will say with Cam Ward, he came from a FCS school and where he
Yeah.
dominated, and he still dominated in the
Yeah.
Pac-12. Where last year, don't forget, people, I know it's fallen from grace, but last year the Pac-12 was a really really strong conference.
Yeah.
So maybe that helps. I don't know. I still don't believe in it. I think there's too many problems to keep all the stuff there and just add him and hope it works. But we'll see. It can't be any worse, right?
Yeah, I would not think so. But now you got to play the who's the quarterback situation now.
Yep. Yep. I know. We'll see that. And I do. Jackson Arnold again, one of the biggest names entering the portal. I think the dude's
Yeah.
broken. Maybe that's just a guy who's really close to it, and as a Sooners fan, but I don't. He has so many pieces. I understand um, him not wanting to stay there because I don't think he starts right away, even if he
Yeah.
competes, because he's going to have to get through a lot of the yips. So
Yeah. I mean, do I blame him for leaving? Absolutely not.
no, yeah, Hawkins. I think we're 50-50 if he stays. I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves, but yeah, there's a lot of those little pieces there. We're going to cover a lot of the transfer portal news. And here's what's cool. This week is the conference championship weekend, right?
Hmm.
But between now and the third week of January, you still have meaningful college football, not just the bowl game
Yeah.
that you're watching, the MAC versus the Conference USA. No, we are actually watching meaningful college football games through mid January, which is 2 extra weeks, people. And there's playoff
Yep.
games in between. So it is a good time to be a college football fan, although it is a crazy time.
Yes, definitely.
So, we are going to move on to some baseball news here to wrap up the show today. The Dodgers signed Blake Snell. Um, Holy cow! Why?
Yeah.
And they're
I
also going to
mean,
get this the other guy.
Sasaki.
Sasaki. Thank you.
I
Right?
mean, the Blake Snell. I figured they were going to either sign Snell or Freed. They need a left-handed pitcher in that rotation because as of right now, with the guys that are on the roster, they don't have one.
Which is
So
crazy.
yeah, I figured they were going to sign one of those two. Then on top of that, they extended Tommy Edmonds.
Hmm. I think
But
that's a
yeah.
good move. I think he's their
Oh
new
yeah.
Chris Taylor.
yeah, I was happy when they got Edmonds. I love what he did in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
Yeah,
I'm
1
definitely
billion in
happy.
deferred.
Yeah, definitely 1 billion deferred. Hey, if they're not going to stop it, why not do it?
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is either it's going to catch on and more teams are going to start to do it.
Hmm.
But it is, I mean, or they're going to be the only ones and they're going to keep running away with it. But I don't see any side budging on making it change because it technically works for both
Yeah,
sides.
yeah,
So it's weird. The Sacramento A's is what we're going to try to call them for now. They signed a Cy Young candidate, and I wrote from 2021 in our show notes. But the reality is, it's actually from 2017. I didn't realize it had been that long since Severino had done that well. The biggest contract, guaranteed contract in A's history, which is crazy for a guy that, yes, he's been productive, but he is not a frontline ace guy. He's getting close to the same money that uh, Sonny Gray got with the Cardinals. What are we doing?
yeah. That's what, when I saw that, I was like, okay, so this is the biggest contract you ever gave out. You gave it to a guy that has issues with his elbow, where he's
Hmm.
was out for 3 years
Yeah.
with an elbow issue that just kept on reoccurring. Yeah, he pitched a lot last year and pitched solid for the Mets,
Hmm.
especially down the stretch. But you're going to give him the biggest contract in your organization's history and hope that he doesn't get hurt again is pretty wild.
Yeah. But he's pitching in a minor league baseball stadium, so we're gonna see how it goes.
Yep, home runs. See ya.
Yeah. Did you see how many the Rays games are on the road in the back half of the year because they're also playing in a minor league stadium this next year?
I didn't.
So of the 81 road games, I think 68 are in the second half of the year because of weather. They're like, well, we gotta,
Oh.
yeah, scheduling, and we were worried about weather. I'm like, I hate domes for baseball, and I know both Florida teams. It's going to rain every single day,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean there are so many complex leagues that already I don't understand why it's such a problem. But I don't think you're going to see the Rays have a great year because that is so many road games,
Yeah,
especially to finish the year. So even if they start off hot, it's going to be hard to finish the year strong. Um,
that's rough.
yeah. Speaking of strong though, strong offer 750 million. Is Juan Soto worth it?
I mean, age-wise, yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
I mean, and I saw someone's like, man, I'm not going to give a guy that, career average is 200, 280 and averages 25 home runs a year. I'm like, I'm looking at what he did last year. The numbers that, yeah, and they might be a little bit inflated because of the short porch there at Yankee Stadium, but every number went up drastically. Home run numbers, RBIs, the on base percentage still going up. The average went up. Everything was going up. So I'm going to take that with that he's starting to figure things out even more, especially with the power side of things. And I absolutely believe that he is. The only downside is in the future, is he going to be able to play out in the outfield because there is some
Yeah.
defensive deficits there.
So let me ask you this. Well, one, to answer the question, if you're asking me, is he worth it? It's not my money. I don't care if he's on my team. Sure.
Yeah.
Would you rather have Juan Soto for 750 million, or would you rather have Luis Severino for 67 million?
Oh, Juan Soto, not even questioning.
That is crazy to think, but I agree with you. It's just a funny thought. Like 67 million, what can you do with the other half a billion plus?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, the thing is we know one is on the going into his prime, and the other one's way past the prime, and he's had multiple elbow
I
issues.
think. How old is Luis Severino?
I'm gonna say he's 30.
I think he is 30. Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah. Where is it? Yep, 30. He'll be 31 this season. So,
it's just the elbow issues is what
oh yeah,
got me.
yeah, that's crazy. But well, everyone, that is the episode. But before we go, Tubby has just a little hint for you guys for this week's
Yeah.
episode to get an extra opportunity to win this month's free giveaway as we head into the month. Why not have a couple extra ways to get a gift? So, Tubby, what is it?
All right. So yesterday's episode we dropped that he was a Hall of Fame running back. Today's hint is he was part of an all-decade team. So
Okay,
it
so
might narrow
that's
it
pretty
down a
good.
little bit more.
Yeah, you had to think of. I mean, there's probably two running backs for an all-decade team, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So
Well,
now I have to
I
think of
mean,
which.
It's
2 or
just
3?
all decade, every 10 years.
Oh, yeah, no, I know, but, like, how many running backs
Yeah.
do they choose? It's
Yeah.
typically 2, maybe
Yeah.
3? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. It only, yeah. I mean,
So, come on, man.
now you just got to go through and look at those all decade teams.
Yeah. Alvin Kamara. No, I'm kidding.
Hey,
Yeah, just kidding people. He's good. So that is it. Put your comment in the guess, and then Tubby will. If you get it right, you get 3 extra names in the hat, essentially, of your
yeah,
name to get the drawing for this month's giveaway, which we're going to announce later this month. So if you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the show, share it with someone new, because we know at the W Sports Podcast, you just got to listen.
absolutely.
Till then, see y'all next time.
See ya.